Hi, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Weigel. Today's episode, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the role-playing game. Now, the thing about Buffy is that it is a game based on an existing property. That is Joss Whedon's TV show, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Angel, his other TV show in the same sort of universe, has its own spin-off game that we'll talk about at a later date. So now let's talk about Buffy. Buffy is by Eden Studios, and it uses the Unisystem, but it uses a modified form of Unisystem. For example, in games like All Flesh Must Be Eaten, Conspiracy X, Armageddon, Witchcraft, and Terra Primate, it all uses what's come to be known as full or classic Unisystem. Cinematic Unisystem is what you find in games like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, and Army of Darkness. What makes this different is, one, your characters end up being more skilled than they would be in the standard Unisystem line. They have there's a fewer body of skills to choose from. Instead of the upwards of 60 that you have in full Unisystem, you're limited to 18 in Cinematic Unisystem. The characters are divided into two power levels. You have, in Buffy anyway, you have heroes and white hats. Now, the white hats basically have lower skills, they have lower attributes, they have less going for them. The heroes, on the other hand, have a lot more going for them. They have higher skills, they have higher attributes, and they are generally tougher in a fight. There's no real balance between the two. This represents the disparity in power level that you see in the show itself, if you think about it. Could Buffy or even one of the second-string fighters, like, say, Riley, could he go toe-to-toe with Xander and Xander have a prayer of coming out of it alive? Not really. Xander was a normal guy. That's more the white hat angle. The heroes, they're more skilled, they're better at what they do. What does serve as a balancing act, and the other main thing that separates Cinematic Unisystem from its classic Unisystem friends, is drama points. Now, the drama point is sort of what allows you to play like you're in a TV show or a movie. And let me tell you, folks, once you get used to using these in this game, you're going to get addicted to them, because you want to use them in every game you play. This brings a real high level of adventure and cinematic action to the game. Your drama points can be used for a variety of things, from adding a big bonus to any roll you make, to healing yourself. I mean, I think I'm okay is what they call it. How many times have you seen a character on one of these shows get the snot beaten out of them, and one scene later they're walking around rubbing their jaw? So that allows you to basically heal yourself to a limited extent. You've also got Back from the Dead. And my favorite, but to be honest, the least used of these abilities is the plot device, which is how you can have someone walk in at an appropriate time, find a clue. So you start out with a body of these drama points. Your heroes, your more skill type, have 10. Your white hats have 20. This is what allows your not-so-tough characters to survive in a game where normally they wouldn't be able to stay around very long. It uses a very streamlined form of magic, representative of what you see in the show, that has pluses and minuses. The spell can very easily go wrong. Even if you get it right, there can be a backfire that you don't anticipate. Great for fiendish game masters to use against their players. The combat is streamed down. For example, you don't roll for damage anymore. It is a set number, which incidentally is a feature that's in all Unisystem games. It's just this uses it by default. Additionally to this, you have streamlined numbers for your monsters. In reality, the game master never actually has to roll any die. There's a combat score that's a very simple formula for you to use. There's a combat score for every non-player character, be it mayor, principal, or vampire, that your players have to overcome to hit, and overcome with a dodge not to be hit. Again, the diceless rules are also in every Unisystem game. It's just this uses them powerfully. Folks, this is a fantastic game if you're looking for a modern fantasy sort of game that brings high action to the table. If you like the freewheeling action of the show, this is a game for you. Possible downsides: if you don't like the freewheeling action of the show, this probably is not a great game for you, simply because it's really hard to divorce that out, even though they give you some ideas on how you could do it. Other disadvantages is that the drama point mechanic can be greatly abused, or the players can just depend on them more than they can depend on raising their skills. That really is sort of a pact that the player and the game master have to make amongst themselves. I usually, when I run this, and I've run this a lot, I end up with a real power creep among my players. They get really powerful, and then it's hard to challenge them. Another possible problem is the glass ninja effect, in that your characters are really good, but one or two blows can knock them down. Again, the drama points help with that. In closing, let me just say this is an absolutely rock-on-toast, awesome game. I have had more fun running and playing this game than almost any other system I've ever worked with. I highly recommend this. If you can get your hands on it, do. There are a variety of supplements, which we'll be covering at a later time. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Weigel. If you have any questions, comments, games you'd like to see us review, or your game you'd like us to review, please feel free to contact us at knweigel@yahoo.com. Good night and good gaming.